Welcome to this explainer, everybody. Let's just dive right into one of the absolute biggest surprises to come out of San Diego Comic-Con. We are looking at a massive, game-changing shift for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because Ryan Gosling is officially stepping in as the spirit of vengeance. For over 50 years, Ghost Rider has been one of Marvel's most iconic, supernatural anti-heroes. You know the look. He's the demonic biker with a flaming skull, a character built on this deeply tragic foundation who dispenses some seriously harsh justice. And after literally years of fan campaigns and endless speculation, we finally have confirmation that this fiery anti-hero is blazing a brand new trail straight into the main continuity. Gosling actually surprised the Hall H crowd by dropping this exact quote, bringing this genuine, undeniable enthusiasm to a role he has openly been chasing for a while. When an actor of his caliber publicly goes after a character for years and then finally gets to announce it to the fans, it completely changes the energy surrounding a project. You can tell he is totally invested in this. Okay, so when do we actually get to see this? Well, they've planted the flag for 2028. Marvel Studios unveiled the official movie logo right alongside this date. We don't have the exact month or day pinned down just yet, but locking in 2028 means we really won't have to wait too long to see Gosling's fiery debut alongside the other major MCU heavyweights. Plus, it gives the studio a clear timeline to really build out the supernatural side of their universe leading up to the release. And man, Marvel is not just relying on Gosling's star power here, they are backing him up with an absolute powerhouse creative team. Shawn Levy is officially in the director's chair. Levy is coming in hot off of Marvel's Deadpool and Wolverine, and he's actually reuniting with Gosling after working together on the upcoming Star Wars Starfighter movie. Alongside him, Jonathan Tropper is penning the script. So it's a reunion of trusted creatives who really know how to handle massive blockbuster scale while keeping the focus totally on the character. All right, so before we look ahead, let's talk about this incredible legacy of vengeance and check out the comic origins of the character. We've got to trace this all the way back to August 1972. The character completely blazed onto the comic book page in Marvel Spotlight number 5. This issue introduced readers to a supernatural anti-hero unlike absolutely anything else on Marvel's roster at the time. It was the early 70s, right? Marvel was experimenting with darker, much more horror-driven characters, and Ghost Rider immediately struck a chord with readers who were desperate for something edgy and just completely out of the ordinary. So the guy Gosling is playing, Johnny Blaze, has this incredibly tragic backstory. Basically, he's a stunt motorcyclist who is desperately trying to save his foster father's life. And to do it, he makes a terrible deal with the demon Mephisto. But instead of a simple transaction, Blaze gets bonded to a demonic entity known as the Spirit of Vengeance. He essentially curses himself to become this flaming skeletal biker who dispenses justice to the guilty. It's a classic Faustian bargain, and it really forms the emotional core of everything he does. Now you might be wondering, what exactly can this guy do? Well, he's not just some guy on a bike. His arsenal includes superhuman strength and durability, which lets him go toe-to-toe with Marvel's absolute heaviest hitters. On top of that, he has the supernatural ability to summon and control actual hellfire. But it's his final ability that truly separates him from every other hero or anti-hero out there. The Penance Stare. This is his ultimate karmic weapon, and it is brutal. With a single look into the eyes of a sinner, the Ghost Rider forces that person to feel all the pain and all the suffering they have ever inflicted on others throughout their entire life. It is this chilling psychological punishment that totally defines his unique brand of vengeance. It's not just about physical damage. It is ultimate moral accountability, which makes him literally one of the most terrifying figures for villains to ever face. Now, while Gosling is stepping into the classic Johnny Blaze boots, you should know the Ghost Rider curse has possessed a few distinct hosts over the decades. Johnny Blaze is the original stunt motorcyclist, sure, but in the 1990s, Danny Ketch took over the mantle and brought in totally new lore. And more recently, we got Robbie Reyes, an East LA high school student driving a Hellfire-infused muscle car, which is just undeniably cool. The Spirit of Vengeance is a huge legacy, even though Blaze remains its most famous face. Okay, so how did we actually get to this MCU reboot? Let's take a quick look at the Hollywood legacy, going all the way from Cage to the MCU. If we track his cinematic journey, you've probably seen Nicolas Cage bring Johnny Blaze to life back in 2007 in a standalone film that was totally outside the MCU continuity. Cage then came back for the sequel in 2012. Eventually, the film rights reverted to Marvel Studios, and the character jumped over to the TV era on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And now, this whole timeline culminates in 2028 with this massive leap right into the main MCU reboot with Gosling. And here is a super fun bit of trivia for you that connects these eras perfectly. Back in that 2007 movie, Nicolas Cage starred alongside Eva Mendes, who is, of course, Ryan Gosling's real-life partner. It's just so crazy that Gosling's personal life already has a built-in connection to the cinematic legacy of this character. Meanwhile, over in the TV era, Gabriel Luna kept the legacy alive as Robbie Reyes. They actually had a standalone Hulu series in development for Luna's ghostwriter at one point, but it got scrapped. So now the stage is totally clear for Gosling to take over. Which brings us to the big question. What's next for Marvel, and why is this epic comeback so important? Ghost Rider finally entering the main continuity is exactly the payoff fans have been waiting for, and it's a massive deal for Marvel Studios. First off, it brings one of their absolute most popular, top-tier supernatural characters right into the main MCU fold. Second, they get to heavily leverage Ryan Gosling's incredible star power. Third, it utilizes Shawn Levy's proven ability to direct massive, crowd-pleasing blockbusters. And finally, they have over 50 years of rich comic history to draw from. It's basically the perfect storm of elite Hollywood talent combining with one of Marvel's darkest properties. Director Shawn Levy literally summed up the vibe perfectly on stage at Comic-Con. He just looked at the crowd and simply said, "Let's ride." It's a brilliant, succinct signal that this creative team is absolutely ready to hit the gas. They know the expectations are astronomically high, but they are fully prepared to take us on a massive supernatural thrill ride. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one burning question. The Spirit of Vengeance officially rides in 2028. But when you look at the current landscape of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, with its colorful heroes and its cosmic threats, is the MCU truly ready for the dark, unrelenting justice of the Ghost Rider? It's going to be absolutely fascinating to see how the rest of Marvel's universe reacts when this demonic biker finally rolls into town. Thank you so much for joining me to unpack this source material, and make sure to keep your eyes on the road ahead